Hey guys, welcome back. We have Rayuk. We also have Nihar on the video call. We will be talking about one of the aspect of game that you guys have been asking so many questions, and trust me, I'm confused too. I have no clue how this game works. There's things like counter. There's things like countering. Which should I use? I mean, there are so many enemies, right? So we will like to understand that what exactly is counter and what exactly is countered by, how to best use it. Let's say you port to an enemy kingdom where there is siege players or archer players, and depending on what kind of players you are, what would you prefer to choose? Or would you always fix yourself with what the game says, that always choose the prescribed counter and countered by? So let's talk to Rayog and ask these questions and understand this more in detail. So hey Rayog, welcome to the channel. Hey Nehar, you also welcome, both of you. Hope you guys are
Hey,
doing
Bob.
good.
First of all, thanks for having us here.
Great, great, always welcome. So what is this countered by and countered? What is it all about?
Okay, so basically, it's more like this game have four types of group. Like we have infantry, we have archers, we have cavalry, and siege, right? And just to make things more interesting, right? If we don't even talk about COK, we talk about any other different game, right? Let's say we have a sniper person, right? A sniper has his attributes, he can kill all the players who are very far. But if there is a close combat fight, a sniper can't do anything, right? So every group, every soldier has an ability to perform better against some certain scenarios and conditions, whereas against some scenarios and conditions they are very vulnerable. So this is the basic definition of counter. Like you have one troop type. If it counters some troop, it's gonna perform way better than normal. And if it doesn't counter some troops and there is something which counters it, then your troop will act very weak. So uh, if right now, if you can add a screenshot in the video, like in this game, we have a diagram where it actually tells like what troops actually counter what troops. Because in different games, there are a different strategy. Like I have played different games where it's cavalry that counters infantry because they say you are on the horse, it is very hard for infantry to fight against you. But if we strictly talk about this game, Clash of Kings, here infantry has counter against cavalry. Infantry will kill cavalry. So we will go into detail, but before that, we have two different types of counters. Okay, one is a very strong counter, and other is a weak counter.
Let,
And
let me
let
try
us like
to
explain it.
let me try to
Mhm.
bring up that screen. It should be in the. If I understand it well, if I select any troop and
You go to train any troop. Okay, on
okay,
the top
let's
side there would be units counter relationship.
let's train any troop, and it says unit counter relationship, and then there is advance. We go to advance, and I
Let's go to the
see.
basic one first.
Okay, let's go to basic one first. All right.
Okay. So in the basic one, you can see like all the troop types. In this game, we have only four troop types: infantry, cavalry, siege, and archer. But both of those are divided into two types more. Like infantry has a shield and pikemen's. Cavalry has the bow cavalry and the melee cavalry. Similarly, archers, we have normal archers and crossbowmen. And in the siege, we have assault parts and mangonel. Okay. So if we talk about the basic relationship, it is very clear from this game. All the lines you are seeing are in orange color. This means they have a strong relationship. Like siege kills cavalry, archers kills siege, cavalry kills archer, and infantry kills cavalry. So pretty much basic. And the definition of counter is that whatever attack you have, right? The natural effect of it will be increased like two folds or three folds, which is a very big difference. Like you can see an infantry player with 2000 attack is able to kill a cavalry who has a 3000 attack. Okay, so the impact of counters is very much, it's like an exponential increase in the attributes and overall results that happens in the game.
I see. I
And
see. So let's
and
say
as, uh-huh,
let's say I am a cavalry player, and
mhm.
I am attacking my enemy is always my enemy in this kingdom is archers. Let's say that's a scenario. for some of the players. I'm not a strong player, an average player. Even my enemy is average, so we are good. But then when I attack, should my counter and countered by both should be on archers, or would you modify that?
Okay, so you have an enemy who is archer, right? You are a cavalry player, and by default in this game, cavalry has a default counter against archers. So your cavalry is gonna kill archers, right? And the way this game is, if you have enemies who have a lot of archers in the castle, what you want to kill a lot of more troops, right? So suppose, let's say if you are not working on counters, you have zero counter in your castle. What will happen? This is for the sake of example, okay? So you attack a castle with your cavalry, you kill 5 millions because your cavalry went into his castle, they killed 5 million archers, right? And you got 5 million kills. Second scenario is that you got into his castle, but he has a lot of infantry there as well. So what will happen, even though your cavalry wants to kill his archers, but infantry comes in between and they stop you. So what will happen? Definitely you will go and kill like 3 millions, but because of that infantry, you are not able to kill more. So based on this particular scenario, if I have to put my counters, I want to kill more archers. My focus is not to kill infantry because as a cavalry, I will not be able to kill a lot of cavalry. As cavalry, I will not be able to kill a lot of infantry, but I will always kill archers. So if I increase my counter archer, when I was killing 5 million, this time I may kill 6 million, 7 million, even 10 million, depends on how much my counter is. This is one way to increase the damage to the enemy. Now the second problem is that when you are trying to kill archers, infantry comes in between. You want to save your cavalry from getting messed up with the infantry. So that is why I will try countered by infantry. So when I have countered by infantry, this means that infantry which is coming in between, I am restricting them to come and stop me from doing my job. So my cavalry will ignore those infantry, they will not get countered by infantry, and they will go to archers and kill more. Now, a lot of mistake that people do. People think infantry is killing me, right? So why not I increase counter infantry and countered by infantry? So if you are increasing counter infantry and countered by infantry, first thing, okay, fine, his infantry will not stop you from attacking. But the problem here is that you are telling your cavalry not to attack archers but attack infantry. And cavalry will it find it very hard to attack. Okay, fine, it will kill, but how much? 1 million, 2 million, but not more than that. It is like telling a sniper, you have a sniper gun, but also carry a pocket knife so that when you have to do a close range combat, use that knife to kill. Why? If you have a sniper, take it on the top of a tower and let him kill all the players who are at a far distance. Don't stop them from doing their normal job. So if you are a cavalry player, you kill archers, you try to kill more archers. So you use counter archers, and this is infantry which is restricting you, so use countered by infantry. So this is what a cavalry player should do. But again, let's say there is a second scenario in your kingdom, there are not archer players, there are no archer players, then what will you do? Right? If you are using counter archers but the enemy has no archers, then your cavalry is not going to kill archers, right? In that scenario, this game also provides you with a weak restraint mechanism, that is, cavalry has a strong restraint against archers, but your cavalry can kill also siege. If you can go to the advanced diagram,
Yeah.
if you are still sharing that screen.
I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, so right here you can see that bow cavalry actually kills the mangonel siege. When we talk about mangonel siege, they are T11s and T14s, right? And then we have assault siege, which is basically your T14 dark and grande. And this diagram is basically old, the COK needs to update it. So what happens is your melee cavalry will kill mangonel. When I say melee cavalry, it is griffins. You might have seen that griffins kill T14 siege very easily. Okay. And the archer cavalry, that is your T14 cavalry, T12 cavalry, they kill a lot of grande siege. Grande siege is basically assault siege. So you can put your counters on counter siege instead of counter archers when you're attacking the person. If he has siege and no archers, then you are forcing your cavalry to kill something that it already kills, and it will kill more. So you will have better results than what you used to have when you would have wrong counter set on your castle.
Okay, I understand. How about we are let's say our castle is cavalry, and also the enemy is also cavalry. But it depends, right? It depends what is your target. Maybe you're trying to attack a building, or you may be trying to attack a castle. So
So
let's talk.
now, mhm.
So let's take the case of, as you explained, in the case of castle, you will possibly do uh, counter archer and countered by infantry, because you don't want your cavalries to be stopped while doing their job. Totally understand that part. But things come a bit different when you are trying to attack a building. Is that so, or no?
That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. So let's understand this, right? You are fighting in a throne, okay? And in the throne, you see there is, let's say, infantry. Okay, there is some enemy who has kept 5 million infantry in the throne. In your alliance, you have two setters. One is a siege setter and one is a cavalry setter. Who will you prefer to attack and do the super? Of course, a siege player, because you know in this particular scenario, siege will be able to keep infantry out. So by this I mean that as a player, you have to keep changing your configurations based on how the opponent is. Like even on castles, we used to have counter archers, but let's say there are a lot of people who started deleting archers in their castle. So if they don't have archers, having counter archers is a waste. So similarly, throne fight and a building fight is also that scenario. Like let's say somebody is holding a throne with cavalry, right? You are a cavalry player. He is holding the throne with cavalry. He has no archers and he has no infantry there. So having countered by infantry and countered by infantry and counter archers is a waste, because there are no archers. You're not gonna kill. There is no infantry who's gonna stop your cavalry. In that scenario, having counter cavalry and countered by cavalry will give you better results. For example, you can also test this in Royal Arena, right? In Royal Arena, you are a cavalry player, right? And if you attack, let's say a cavalry player who has same stats like you, and let's say you are not able to kill, go to your lord, go to your hero, change the counter gems to cavalry, and you will be able to kill him. You can see the difference there. So there is also this relationship of counter between the same troop types. Like I said, like cavalry counters archer. I said cavalry counters siege, but cavalry also counters cavalry.
Okay.
For example, the melee cavalry will always counter the bow cavalry. This means your griffin will always kill T12 cavalry and T14 cavalry. You can test this in arena. So when you are increasing counter cavalry, this means your griffins will kill more T14s and more T12s of enemy. And if you are using countered by cavalry, this means the enemy griffins, this means you will receive less damage to your T14s and T12s by the enemy cavalry, T13 cavalry.
Understood.
So you
Understood.
have to constantly keep watching what you are fighting against, and based on that, you have to make decisions like what gems to use. But if you don't know what enemy has in the throne, what enemy has in the building, so the best and the default strategy is to use counter archers and countered by infantry.
Yeah, if you're a cav player.
And that's for cavalry player, yeah.
That's for cavalry player. Okay. So perhaps the last question for this video. So many say that counter and countered by is exactly same as damage and receive damage. They just gave a different name to it and one more aspect to it for people to spend. What's your thought on that?
That's so not true.
Okay, can you explain?
That's so not true. The reason being, when I talk about damage what will damage do, right? Whatever troops you are killing, it will increase the number. Okay, so think of it like damage and damage reduction is addition and subtraction. You killed 1,000 troops, now you will kill 1,001, 1,002. More damage you have, more number of troops you are killing. But when we talk about counters, it is not just addition, it is multiplication. It is like an exponential growth, right? So when I am increasing the counters, right, what I was killing, I can kill 2 folds, 3 folds times the number of troops that I was killing, right? Suppose, just to give an example, if I have 100% increase in damage and if I have 100% increase in counters, the results that counter gives you is way more.
Way more.
This was one example that
Yeah.
the impact is very different. Second example, when I increase cavalry damage, it will increase my cavalry damage done to all troop types, irrespective of what troop they are. And damage reduction is same. If I am increasing my cavalry damage reduction, I am reducing the damage that I am receiving from all the enemy troops. But in case of counter, when I'm increasing counter capability, it will only enable my troops to perform better against a single troop type. And since you are focusing on a single troop type, then the game will definitely give you a higher advantage because you are working more on a single attribute that gives you an advantage on a single troop type against a single troop type. But the results would be far more greater than what you get from the damage and damage reduction.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. I mean, that makes it a lot more clear in terms of so many doubts that players have that, yeah, I can just increase my damage. Why do I even care about counter? I actually keep seeing people not even working on counter and countering, which seems like a multiplication factor for me as opposed to the damage, which is just additional of unit skill. So great. I mean, thanks, Ryuk, for explaining this counter and countering to us.
That there is one thing that I would like to add.
Sure.
Maybe stretching the video, but it is very important. There is one question that I have seen a lot of people say that counter is for attack and countered by is for defense.
Right. Right.
Have
I
you,
missed that
have
question.
you heard about those questions?
Even yeah. I have heard so many. I have the same question also for you.
Oh.
I missed it.
So guys, do not confuse counters and counters by like offensive damage and defensive damage. Like offensive damage, of course, work on attack, and defensive damage works on defense. The easiest way to know what attributes work on attack and defense is looking at the report. When you are attacking someone, right, you see counter and countered by both attributes in your report. And when you are defending, again you see both attributes. So none of them are attacking attributes, none of them are defending attributes. They are both. When you are fighting, let it be attack, let it be defense. Counter will increase damage.
It's damage, which we give and receive.
Yes, irrespective of you are doing attack or irrespective if you are defending the castle, it's gonna take effect. So if you are a defender, don't say I don't need counters. I have seen many people say I'm a defender, I don't need counter, I need countered by. No, you need counter as well. Similar for the attackers, you need counters, but you also need countered by.
Understood. Understood. Great. So we will make more videos like this, Ryuk and Nihar, in terms of toughness and the other attributes that people are so confused upon, and these kind of discussions. I hope it helps all of you guys. Please do comment on the video section. I will definitely like to thank Ryuk and Nihar, both of them, to come here, join us, explain us what these characteristics are in the game. If we understand it, then only we can customize our castle to play and get the best results out of it. Otherwise, I see people just not focusing on it because they don't understand it at all. It's just too confusing, right? So thank you, Ryuk. Thanks, Nihar. And guys, do subscribe the channel of Ryuk. I'll put that link in the description again for you to subscribe. There is more such videos out there which you should definitely watch and learn from them. All right. Thanks, Ryuk and Nihar, for watching or for
Thank
being
you.
part of the
Thanks to
show.
you too,
Yeah.
Pat. Thanks to you. too.
Welcome, and thanks all of you for
Thank you very
watching
much.
and subscribing the channel. Bye bye. Take care.